Imagine it is 2017. Your name is Alet. You live in rural Rwanda with your 3 siblings and your subsistence farmers. Your parents are subsistence farmers. You graduate from high school, but your marks aren't high enough. You're not top of your class. You don't qualify for a government loan to go to university. Your parents cannot get access to finance for you because they don't have collateral and because they cannot pay high interest rates. Now imagine you find a small job, you save for a whole year, and you go to school for 1 term. Because you drop out, you run out of funds. Do you know someone like that? My name is Batya. I'm the CEO of Chancen International, and I meet people like Alet every single day. I already met, or it goes back to 2017 when I met Alet and hundreds of other young people that we were speaking to. We were in Rwanda to help build our product and do a feasibility study. At this point, I said to myself, Batya, you have to do something about this. 92% of African youth cannot access higher education or meaningful learning that leads to income generation. Do you know that only 8% of young Africans go on to study, and this statistic has not changed for the last 10 years? One of the biggest barriers is financing. And the gap is very massive because on top of government spending in higher education and the money that is available for scholarships, there is still a $25 billion gap. And now is the time for us to find innovative financing solutions so that we can start closing this gap and move the needle on the 92%. So how is Chancen, my organization, contributing to this? We do so by offering young people like Alet something called an income share agreement, which is a fair and ethical financial solution that helps her to finance her education, and then she only makes repayments once she has graduated and once she has meaningful income. In Rwanda, it needs to be more than $80 or 80,000 Rwandan francs a month. The unique thing is that she pays a percentage of her salary for a set period of time, which means the repayments adjust to her economic ability. The way that we work is that we partner with education institutions first. We find the best colleges or TVET institutions or training programs. We do a very stringent due diligence process on them because we believe now is the time that education performance is not measured on the number of students that you're enrolling, but rather on what are your graduates doing? How are they earning an income? How has your education contributed to their success? Once we have gone through this due diligence process, we sign a partnership agreement with these institutions. And then any student that applies to them and is accepted can then come to us for financing, where they sign an income share agreement directly with us, and they become a member of the Chancen community. Our mission is to ensure that marginalized youth have access to high quality education, but to do so in a sustainable, in a financially sustainable way. So I launched the organization in Rwanda in 2018, and we financed about 1,600 students to date.
Wow.
Because 80% are women, 50% come from rural areas, and 98% of the young people we have financed are unemployed or not meaningfully engaged when they sign up. And we have over and over again seen that the demand for this is massive. We recently enrolled, we have 200 spots at one institution we work with. We received 2,000 applications. So we have proven demand and we've built an excellent team. But where does the money come from to finance something like this? I can tell you it doesn't come from banks at this stage. I've actually tried. I wanted to see if the bank would help finance this, and I knew it was risky, so I said, I'll put down a 50% cash guarantee if you give me a loan. And they said no. Then I looked into the venture capital market. They cannot invest in something like this. This is long term, it's patient capital, and the returns are not going to be 40% plus what a venture capitalist is expecting. And the same applies to private equity. And the reason why none of these institutions would invest in us is because we're essentially an income share agreement is an uncollateralized loan, so it is risky. But we believe that we can, with time, prove that it can be a real asset class and that you can measure the risk based on the quality of education and someone's future potential income. So again, who finances this? There are a group of people in the world who firmly believe that investments should not only have a financial return, but really make a meaningful social impact. And there are many of them in the room today, which is really great. We call them impact investors. And true impact investment means that you are willing to forego market rate returns because meaningful impact that is proven with real metrics makes up for that gap. So we recently set up a $21 million US fund to finance the next 10,000 students. And over the last 2 years, I have spent a lot of time interacting with impact investors, and they are very, very broad and diverse. You have development finance institutions, so DFC has invested with us, which is the development finance institution of the US government. We have raised money with the UBS Optimus Foundation, and that is a foundation linked to one of the largest banks in the world. Then you also have family offices that are using their wealth to invest in enterprises that are making a social impact. And then there are also very established impact investors that have specialized fields like Chancen Invest from India. Our world really opened up as we went through this process because you still go through this due diligence process and you have to prove your business model, etc. But when we spoke about financial returns, we always spoke about impact returns too, in real numbers and real metrics. So we said them with our investors. 10,000 young people, 70% will be women, 20% need to come from households that earn less than $5 a day, 10% need to come from households that earn less than $1 a day, and so on and so forth. And so this is how we were able to raise 17 million of the 21 million. But there are challenges. Impact investing really requires creative approaches to legal and structuring questions. So you need good lawyers, you need good structural experts, and you need people who know how to measure the impact. Impact investing is also a term that encompasses a very broad range of investors. But there's only really, in reality, and I talk from experience, a very small group who are willing to put in patient capital and wait for up to 10 years to see and watch our young people grow and succeed in their careers and pay back. So, do you recall the $25 billion US gap? We need a lot more research, innovative solutions that are tested on the continent so that we can move the needle and increase the 8% to 80, 90. That means we need a lot more impact investors offering patient capital in exchange for high social returns in investment. It's not 2017, it is now 2022, and we dream of a robust marketplace where income share agreements are a proven financial product. In fact, I may even say we might have started building it. So, the question is, how are you going to help close this gap and all the other gaps of impact investing? Thank you very much for your time. My name is Batya.